Sales are growing rapidly, earnings are growing rapidly, and you're going to continue to see that. And thus, institutions must own this stock. I mean, if you look at some of these institutional funds and et cetera, and they don't have the stock in there, they're definitely going to get questioned why. You're going to see this stock continue to grow long term, and I would buy on any time you get a chance to buy it.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Tesla stock and why over the last few months, which is a few milliseconds with a long-term investment horizon, the stock has done absolutely nothing. In fact, worse than nothing. It's down this year. It's down over the last 6 months. I'll talk about some of the positive catalysts just around the corner, and I'll speculate about how long we can stay in this lull before Tesla stock once again breaks out and heads to the moon. So let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Seema Modi. Shares of Tesla heading lower even after Mizuho analysts reiterated the stock as a buy for its leadership in the global electric vehicle market. The firm also saying Tesla's U.S. business could get a boost from potential incentives in the Biden administration's infrastructure plan. With shares still down over 14% year to date, is there a trade here on Tesla? Should you buy it on the pullback? Let's bring in Matt Maley of Miller Tabak, Michael Bappas of Vios Advisors, and Rockefeller Capital Management. Gentlemen, good to see you. A hotly contested stock. Michael, your hot take.
Seema, great to see you as well. Look, Tesla is going to continue to be the leader in the industry, especially for the foreseeable future. I mean, they have 24 roughly percent market share. It's a very difficult barrier to entry type of an industry, and I don't see anyone coming in anytime soon.
3 fantastic points here. Tesla today has a huge market share of electric vehicles. In addition to that, it's an extremely difficult industry to break into. We've seen this with some of the EV SPACs. Many more of these clown companies will be going bankrupt over the next 12 to 24 months as they too learn how difficult it is to break into the electric vehicle market. And of course, there's also the legacy automotive manufacturers. There's plenty of dopey retail investors out there who are giving these clowns far too much credit. Here's something to chew on for a moment. General Motors recently announced they're increasing their investment in EVs through 2025 to $35 billion, up from $20 billion. And to give you guys some further context, in 2021, this year, Tesla will deliver around 1 million electric vehicles. General Motors is aiming to deliver 1 million electric vehicles in 2025. Now, how much did it cost Tesla to get to the same stage? Spoiler alert, significantly less than half of General Motors' intended investment. Does that not give you guys a little bit of a clue at how capital efficient Tesla is and how costly and expensive it's going to be for these legacy automotive manufacturers to even attempt to catch up to where Tesla is today? General Motors is planning to be where Tesla is today in 2025 in about half a decade, and they're going to have to invest more than twice as much money as Tesla has to get to the same stage. That's if they don't increase their EV investment further, which they're going to, mark my words. I don't think most investors out there appreciate just how difficult it is to break into the EV market, not just for an EV startup, but also for legacy automotive manufacturers. And the third point there really is no competition even on the horizon. Now, I'll be the first to let you guys know when I see legitimate competition for Tesla, but at this point in time, there literally is none.
You know, and when you think Tesla, you think innovation. Not only is it electric cars, but the technology that they're developing and, you know, the clean energy and storage that they have, let alone fundamentally, sales are growing rapidly, earnings are growing rapidly, and you're going to continue to see that. And thus, institutions must own this stock. I mean, if you look at some of these institutional funds and et cetera, and they don't have the stock in there, they're definitely going to get questioned why.
This is a really good point. Some of you folks may not be aware, but there's many large institutional investors out there who today still don't directly own any Tesla stock. They don't have a single share of Tesla. Imagine having to answer the question to your clients, why don't you own Tesla stock? Why did you miss this opportunity? Why don't you buy it today? Gets worse. Imagine in 12, 24, 36 months when they still don't own Tesla stock. Will they even have any clients left at that stage? This is like a litmus test for the competence of the people managing money at these institutions. Failing to see the opportunity in Tesla, failing to invest in the company right now is a huge red flag that the people running the money there don't really know what the hell they're doing. This is like missing Amazon. And the more time passes, the more Tesla continues to execute and absolutely embarrass the entire automotive industry, cause huge disruption, scale at unprecedented rates, bring in staggering amounts of quarterly profits, etc., the harder and harder it is for these institutions to answer the question as to why they don't own Tesla stock.
So I think, look, it ran up probably too far, too fast last year during the volatility of the pandemic that we went through. I mean, it was kind of, markets were all over the place. But I think you buy this on a dip, and unless someone comes in and breaks through the difficult barriers to entry, you're going to see this stock continue to grow long term. And I would buy on any time you get a chance to buy it.
And this is exactly what I've been doing now for more than the last half decade. Every time I've had cash available, I've purchased Tesla stock consistently, day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. I still see a huge amount of upside over the long term, and I'm still buying with every spare cent. And no, that doesn't mean I'm waiting for Tesla stock to dip, but every time I've got cash, I'm buying. Occasionally, if Tesla stock gets absolutely eviscerated, I'll try and find even more capital to put into the stock. But irrespective of that, I'm not sitting around waiting with a pile of money on the sidelines going, oh man, I hope Tesla stock goes down more. I just buy when I've got the cash. So far, it's worked out okay.
So Matt, you heard Michael right there. He's a believer in the company, and he thinks that this is a good opportunity to buy the stock on this pullback here. But there are many who would say there is competition, not just here, but overseas.
And there are many who would say that the Earth is 6,000 years old. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. And in the case of Tesla having competition here or overseas, there literally is none. One day, hopefully, this will change. But until further notice, there is no competition. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of potential, and that's all there is. Until companies start executing, producing vehicles profitably at large scale, at volume, there's no competition, period. Tesla's running laps around the circuit, and no one else is even on the starting blocks.
Plus the broader supply chain issues that the automotive industry is dealing with right now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because for the first time in a while, Tesla's kind of done nothing for about a month to 6 weeks now, a couple of months really, and you don't really see that very often. It's been kind of riding its 200-day moving average for a while now. So whichever way it breaks away from that, the 200-day moving average will give us a little bit of a hint of where its next move is going to come. However, the real thing that I'm looking at is it's on a little bit longer term chart. It's formed a descending triangle pattern. The upper end of that pattern is at the $650 level right now. That's the declining of the trend line going back to January. If it breaks above that, that's going to be very compelling to the upside. The downside is that flat line down at the 563 level. That's the lows from both March and May. And if you break below that, it's going to be very negative. The one thing is that, I guess my point is we could, in the past, when the stock has been stuck in a sideways range, once it breaks out, it starts to move in a big way. This should be no different. I'm looking for the first week of July. We get some delivery information from them. That could see the big point, but those will be the two levels I'll be watching.
So just to understand, is it trading above or below its 200-day moving average, Matt?
It's literally riding it. It's going slightly above it, slightly below it. It's been doing that for several weeks now. And once it finally kind of pulls away from it, that'll be an early indication of which way it's going. But we really want to break out of that triangle pattern to really confirm which way the next big move is going to come.
Is it just me? I cannot take technical analysis of stocks seriously. I think it's all an absolute load of horse shit. It's like, oh look, we've got an inverted scrotum pattern that suggests the stock will either go up or down in the future. And if it goes up, then that means that the stock went up. If it goes down, then that means the stock went down. The predictive power of this is completely useless. I think people like to play around, go, oh look, this pattern, this shape, and I get it. You can draw some triangles and cool, look, I drew a triangle, but it doesn't tell you anything about the future direction of the stock. Now, why do I say this? What actually causes the stock price to move? Spoiler alert, it's the collective actions of thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people and algorithms buying and selling securities, which have nothing to do with the shape you can draw on previous movements of the stock price. Just saying. Please, I'd love somebody to present a convincing argument to me as to why technical analysis of stock is actually useful whatsoever and has any useful predictive power. Please, my mind is open, but you will need to convince me. by maybe being worth a few $billions as a result of you being able to technically analyze stocks and then making intelligent investment decisions, whether buying or selling on those stocks. That'd probably be a good way to convince me. It's just so short-sighted and short-term. I'm much more of a long-term investor. I'd rather look at things like, hey, how's the Austin factory going? By the way, spoiler alert, should be producing vehicles around end of this year. How's the Berlin factory going? Spoiler alert, same story there. Berlin and Austin around neck and neck. Both of these huge positive catalysts for Tesla stock over the medium and long term. Don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but I can tell you, once Tesla's got another 2 factories operating and is ramping production in those, that's going to be very bullish for the company. That's going to cause a huge increase in production and therefore sales. Now, I'm no expert here. I haven't done my technical analysis on Tesla stock, but I have a funny feeling that if Tesla grows their production around 100% year over year from 2020 to 2021, then grows their production capacity again from 2021 to 2022 by 50 to 70% again, I think that's probably going to be a positive catalyst for the stock. Now, the stock market over the short term, which I consider a year or two to be fairly short term, can do anything. In the short term, the stock market is a voting machine, but the key here, over the long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. And I believe that once Austin and Berlin are producing vehicles at volume and Tesla's banking huge profits every single quarter, it's going to be inarguable. I think this is going to bring in a whole new wave of investors who finally see the light. Oh shit, they're not actually going bankrupt. Damn, they're actually producing over 1 million vehicles per year, continuing to ramp production, outselling everybody, still selling every vehicle they make and absolutely dominating. Maybe I was wrong about Tesla after all.
Michael, last word to you. I mean, Matt makes a good point about momentum. This is one of those companies that when it starts moving, you just see it consistently move day after day, whether it's on a tweet from their CEO, Elon Musk, or it gets caught up in one of some of these messaging boards. But how do you ride that momentum and invest in the stock before that happens, if it happens again?
Look, like Matt mentioned, I think this is a good time because no one's really paying attention to it right now. And anytime people aren't paying attention to a company that's a solid company with solid growth, you mentioned supply chain issues, that's going to go away. Whether it takes a month or 6 months, that'll be gone. And so you look at it at a time right now, it's down for the year. It's 30-40% off of its highs from last year. I think it's a time to buy it right now and just put it away. You got to close your eyes on the volatility for a little bit and bet on the fundamentals and the leadership of the company. I mean, you can't get a better leader than they have. So
some great points there to finish up. Let me know in the comments below if any of you have purchased Tesla stock this year in 2021, or am I the only one? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.